Why, hello everybody and welcome back, and this is the video number 5 of our Skilz4umedia JavaScript, HTML, CSS creating a space shooter. Okay, so far we've done our key presses, events, we've set up the canvas, we've now got a player on the screen, and it's now we've got a score down the bottom. We also need to add lives on there. Also we need to add a parallax scrolling background as well. So let's first of all, let's add the lives on the screen as well. So if you remember on the last video, we created a function down at the bottom called draw new text. So I'm going to do exactly the same thing for the lives, but I think like we're on an extra video where you can actually have, you know, either showing a health bar on the screen and also maybe a sliding health bar, or showing like a graphical representation of lives as well. So I'm just going to take that and go to my draw function in the actual game. So I'm going down to function draw game, and we're just going to place it in there, and we're just going to go lives, player lives. Okay, so we've got player lives, just adding a space, plus player 1. I should have actually just put player, and then we're going to put lives, and then we'll place that probably around about 800. Around about 800 by 610. 610, we'll keep that in the color scheme as well. But again, we might change this later on to make it more of a graphical representation rather than sort of a text. Let's just move that on a little bit further. 1000. Just make it a little bit better. A little bit more. 100 more. There you go. Great stuff. Right, okay, so we've got a player on the screen, but obviously, you know, it'll be great to have like a background. So what I went and did is I created a background, some space backgrounds, using my software package, which was Photoshop Pro, and on a PNG, blank PNG, created just dots randomly across a PNG, and what we're going to do is create a parallax scrolling background. Okay, so how do we actually going to do that? So I'm sure there's lots of different ways of doing this, but I'm gonna set up another class function. So first of all, I'm just going to copy some of the information from our player class here to save some time. So I'm just going to copy the top bit. I'm just going to go down to the bottom. Right, okay, so from here, this is going to be background class. And we're going to call that background obj. That'll do. Okay, so I'm going to pass it x, y, and speed. This y. So this width is, I've got to actually have a look, see how big these things are. Okay, so background 1. Just looking at the properties. Of course, I should have found this out. So it's 2000 wide by 1000 high. Okay, so I'm going to go from here. Okay, so I'll say 1200, won't it? Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. That's what I like. So it's like a road of discovery sometimes, coding. And then 1200. Let's just put that in there. Image will be. Actually want this image as well. Image. So image X, Y, that's fine, because we're going to pass different images into the. Okay, so this image equals image. Let's change the top there, otherwise it's not going to work. Okay, so I've done that. Speed is going to be this speed. No, just put speed. lives, don't need that, don't need that, don't need that. I think we're there. So I think we've got like the key things here are we got the X, the Y, so we're going to pass it X and Y, blah, 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 blah. We've got a width. That's the width that I've given my background. For each of the backgrounds, height is 1200, and this image, we're going to pass it the image. I'm just going to let's make this shorter. Image. That's right, isn't it? Speed equals speed. Okay, cool. Okay, so we got the draw function. I need to add that there, otherwise it's not going to work. Okay, so the next one. So all we're doing is we pretty much took what we had from the player class. Actually, I need to change that. So we've got the draw of the image, takes the image from there, this X, this Y, this width, this height. Looks good so far. Okay, so update function. I've got speed in there as well, I'm like, yes. So update function for the background equals that. So end of update function. And update function, end of draw function, end of background class, object class. Okay, so from here, all we're going to do, so from there, we're going to go this X minus equals this speed. Minus this equals this speed. If this X is less than 2000 minus 2000, then this dot X equals 2000. This might go terribly wrong. Okay. Let's see if this works. Right. Okay, so I've got 3 backgrounds already loaded, but one thing I forgot about is loading the backgrounds. Okay, so what we're going to do is remember at the top, we started off a section for loading images. So that's loading images. Let's just make that loading images. There you go. Play a ship. Load background images. Looking good. Okay. So I'm going to load them separately. I could actually do a for loop and do this. So I'm just going to go background 0 equals new image, and I probably will do like a for loop for some of the when we get to like the player ships as the enemy ships as well. And do that 1, 2, because basically you probably want to put these in an array, but for time saving. Okay, so you're going to go src equals that. Just going to grab my background images, so I'm going to copy that. Now, obviously, you know, if you've created your own images, you need to be referencing them. It's really easy to do, as I say. Just, you know, a blank PNG in any kind of photo editing file, maybe just a photo editing program, and then, you know, just image dimensions 2000 by 1200, which I've done. You can do whatever. It should realistically probably be, you know, canvas height by canvas width, or a little bit longer, but it really is up to you how you actually do this. So I'm just showing you is, first of all, we're giving all these giving them all variables. Each of the images variables, I would, as I say, usually I'd probably put them into an array. Okay, Okay, so hopefully that's done that. Okay, so fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Right, I was just going to take that. So let background one equals new background object, and I need to pass it the image x, y, speed 2. And A. Now I'm going to use the same one, so I'll just tell you the reason for this. So that needs to be X 2000. Let's just relabel that background. Now I'm sure there's lots of different ways of actually doing this, but this is the one that I'm doing. I'm sure there's lots of different solutions for doing these things, so I'm going to go copy, going to my draw function, game draw function, I place it at the back, like so, draw, update. Now, moment of truth. Look at that, we got a star field, everybody. We have a star field. Look at that, that's pretty cool. Now it's starting to look like a space game. Now we want to probably layer the other ones on top of that as well. So notice that I need this background one, I need to do background 1A as well. So what I'm going to do is actually, I'm going to create a function, instead of having those down there, just create a function and have them all in. Function starfield, add starfield. Right, so I'm going to place that in there, like so. Add starfield. Hopefully this should still work. Going back to my draw, add star game. I'm going to put that in my my update game. Update game. Okay, so what I've done is I've put in my update game function, add starfield, and it's still working. It's still working. It's looking good. Right, so let's see if we can add the other ones in there as well. So what I'm going to do is background 2, second layer, change that to that, and then I'm going to add that in there as well. So I can actually just copy that, just change that to 2, like so, and then I'm just going to go 1.5, different speed. Is that going different speed? Can't really see. Can't really see. Okay, so just make sure that I've got took the reference of the background there. Okay, and then we got background 2 there as well. Okay, so background 2, and then last for background 3. Background 3. Okay, so we're adding all these things to the star field. I'm going to just change the speed to 1. Three, 3, draw update. Can actually see the star fields actually moving, some of them slightly quicker than the others. See, there you go, I can see that right there. So we could actually now go into here, game speed. So game speed times by 3. So if we could now adjust the game speed, it's going to actually adjust the parallax scrolling as well. Okay, so doing that as well. To there, times by 2. Times by 2. Let me just see what happens when we go times by 1. Times by 1. There you go. Superb. Okay, so let me just run through that slowly with you, what I went and did there. So for the background class, I created a background class here. In the constructor, it passes the image, the X, the Y, and the speed. And then in the constructor, we got a width of 2000, which is the size of the image width and the height. And obviously, we've got the image which we pass in there. Then we've got the draw function, which is taking from up top here this image, which gets from up top here as well. Then the update function. So what it's doing is this X is reduced by this speed, which we take from up here, increments every time the game loop. And then if this X is less than minus 2000, this X equals 2000, which means that the image has gone off the page. Now, why have I used the same image twice? So the reason for that is, when it goes off the page, okay, you'll notice that if I just went and said, right, the same image or go back to X, it doesn't really work. So what I would tend to do is I have the same image at the end of the previous image. So this image here is starts at 1000, goes to 2000, okay? But this image here as well, it's the same image, starts at 2000, then reduces down. But once it goes to minus 2000, it gets to the end of the queue. Okay. Hence why I've got 3 images, all starting at 0. Also, I've got a duplicate image at 2000, so it takes over from the other image when it goes off the page. And obviously, what I've done here is we've got a game speed that we defined right at the top in our game attributes. What we could do is, if you went and changed that to 2, what that will now do is it will change the speed of the star field as well, which is really, really cool. Okay, so what I did there was I set different speeds for each of the backgrounds to get that parallax effect. And again, you could add some planets in there as well. Okay, so that's the end of video number 5. I hope you enjoyed that one. There's quite a lot going on that. And obviously we're going to be moving on to the next video. Where are we up to? I'm just going to have a look at the top, where we're up to at the top here. We add our parallax background, so we need to add firing missiles from our ship. Okay, so hope you enjoyed the series so far. Please subscribe to the channel, or if you want to buy me a coffee, as I say, you know, these videos do take a lot of work. But thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. See you later.